What ho, chaps? How the devil? It's the 27th of April, 2022. Welcome to the BBC Spews, live. Now it's the only BBC Spews, because if you pre-record them, that fucking buck-toothed slapper with a face like a welder's bench bans me channel. So, can't do them anymore. Hopefully Elon will buy fucking YouTube as well while he's at it. Blue Van Man's just had bacon and egg sarnies. I'm jealous. American bacon. It's just not up to much, is it? Although I have learned since I moved out here that it works, but it's a very different kettle of fish. It's a different cut of the pig in it. But the short version is American bacon works really well if you use it as almost like a condiment. Right? If you put a bit of that mega crispy thin shit on like a burger, or chop it up small and put it on a pizza or something with a bit of chicken. Works really well. It's like a condiment, but you can't just have a bacon sandwich in America. If you go into a shop and say, "Can I have a bacon sandwich?" they'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Because it just doesn't work. It's like crispy. So strange. What did happen to Danish bacon? I don't know. No idea. Canadian bacon's similar, but not the same. I believe. Don't quote me on this. This is just from talking about bacon with my wife while discussing it once. I'm sure that there's a section of the pig, I don't know what piece of the animal it is, that they just slice up over here, and that's bacon. And then there's a section that's sort of more circular, and the Canadians slice that up, and that's Canadian bacon. And the British one, you've got both of those pieces stuck together, and then you swoop through it. So that's why you've got the little disc at the top, and then the little strip across the bottom. So the British... is it back bacon? They do a slice and it's through both of them. The Canadians use the big circly bit and the Americans use the little thin strippy bit, and it's a cut between the two. Anyway, always good talking about bacon. Can you get spam? I think you can get spam. Yeah, spam was invented in America, wasn't it? I think it was invented for the GIs during the war or something. But that is shocking in its spam. It's just literally grinding up a fucking, throw an entire pig into a meat grinder, it's got lips, arseholes, the lot. Bacon and brown sauce, you can't beat it. Anyway, let's not talk about bacon all day. Today, for an amusing sidetrack before we get into the news, I thought we could watch Libs of TikTok for a bit, because it's obviously been in the news a lot lately because Taylor Lorenz, who's that woman who regular bootcateers will be well aware that I made a video about her a couple of weeks ago, because she's a staggeringly hypocritical, woke fucking fascist, like they all are. And she basically fucking hell bacon grilled. I remember once seeing the nutritional information on bacon grill. I read it on the side of a 10-man pack when I was in Afghanistan. And I was like, fuck me. If bacon grill is just death in a cube, it's just a brick of death. It's got something like 190% of your day's fat, recommended daily allowance of fat, saturated fat, in like half a serving. It's fucking unbelievable. It's just a cube of fat and salt. But again, it tastes all right, doesn't it? So yeah, the Taylor Lorenz video I made, for those of you that haven't seen it, it's just, she worked for the Washington Post. She's disgracefully hypocritical. She went on the attack, hunting people down like fucking vermin whenever they are shown to be not woke, and doxing them. And the woman who runs Libs of TikTok is, not only did she get attacked as a result of Taylor Lorenz's reporting, it's not really reporting, is it just telling everybody's fucking name? I mean, I couldn't give a fucking monkey's fart because I'm a bootneck. My name's Matt Taylor. If anybody wants to Google that, I don't give a monkey's fart. But if you're a normal person with a normal married woman with kids and stuff, it's your prerogative whether or not you want to tell the general public who you are and where you live. And leaking that information en masse is known as doxing. I do feel like I should put that in for some of the over 50s that follow the bootneck. You don't have the right to do that. You don't. If I wanted to just go by the Angry Bootneck or like Rotten Politics does and not put my face all over it, you don't have the right to then somehow hack me find some of my personal photographs and then leak them on Twitter and say, see this motherfucker here, this is the Angry Bootneck or Rotten Politics or Bertoff, we got a problem, doesn't to his face, does he? It's up to you if you want to do it or not. Certainly you don't have the right to spread that information without the consent of the person whose identity you're disclosing. And Taylor Lorenz just did it because she doesn't like the politics of this individual. That's literally it. The woke Gestapo hate you if you don't agree with them on everything, because the communists, again, I still don't understand why I'm the only one who keeps using the term. Nobody does, do they? Like, nobody on YouTube or in the public circle. Why doesn't Jordan Peterson or any of the big personalities, Joe Rogan, why don't they just call them communists? The communists, like, is it because they did such a good job sort of scandalizing McCarthyism that they don't want, nobody wants to use the word? These fucking people are commies, and all the things they do are, it's not even original or new. The things they do are just written in stone. You know what they're going to do. If you're not a communist, they think it's acceptable to do anything to crush you beneath their iron-shod boots. The communists, people that call themselves woke, are communists. You can see this again, like I've said it loads of times. Communists don't differentiate by race or gender or sexual orientation. They differentiate by whether or not you're a communist. And that's why when somebody like Kanye West says, oh, actually, I sort of quite like Donald Trump, they go, oh, yeah, oh, fucking hell, the enemy. And then all tactics are suitable for use against him, aren't they? Kanye West's not black. Or a gay man comes out and says, oh, I think you should vote for Donald Trump. He's better than the other guy. And you go, well, he's not gay then. Yeah, he might occasionally suck blokes off, but he's definitely not gay. No, definitely not gay. Definitely not gay. But this woke straight man, fucking, what's that twat called who plays the Hulk? He never shuts the fuck up. Gobby fucking talentless cunt. Someone like him, a straight man who fucks loads of chicks, always hot chicks as well, right? They pretend to be moral, but they aren't. They just sleep around, hoying it into fucking young lasses all the time. People like Leonardo DiCaprio. He goes to takes a woman to an awards ceremony who's 20. Not really moral when you're in your 50s and 60s and you're shagging young birds all the time, is it? They should be out enjoying themselves with people their own age. But someone like him, who bums loads of teenage girls, flies all around the world on a fucking private jet, basically does all of the things that these woke cunts think is bad. So think about it. I mean, it's not very feminist, is it? Using women like fucking parking tickets. He just shags them a couple of times, ditches them, and gets another 20-year-old. Not very feminist, doesn't really treat women with respect. Flies all around the world in a private jet, fucks the climate up, eats a load of Wagyu fucking steak. Doesn't really do anything, but because he says publicly, oh yeah, I'm woke, yeah, I mega care about the environment, they go, oh yeah, he's sounding. He sounds as fuck, he's an icon. But if you're a black man and you vote for Trump, you're not black anymore. If you're gay and you vote for Trump, you're not gay anymore. If you're a fucking pot-bellied disabled midget, you're not a pot-bellied disabled midget, you're a straight white cishet scum. It's, no, not Eric Banner. He's all right, him. I mean, the other one, Mark Ruffalo, that's it, Mark Ruffalo. These people are fucking wankers. So it's just the commies. And if you're not a commie, they'll come for you. It's not about identity politics. It's about communism. The identity politics is not even remotely interested or intriguing rebranding. It's not original. It's not clever. It's about as subtle as a boot in the bollocks. There's nothing original about it at all. It's just communism. And they use woke identity politics as a smokescreen to slip it in. But that's what it is. And that's why they use the same tactics. It's Stalin-esque, this fucking shit. Doxing you and making you out to be public enemy number one. It's just, it's cliched and it's boring. If I was mega rich, I wouldn't go for used up 50-year-olds. I'd get the 22-year-old bikini model. Yeah, fair enough. I'm not having a pop, but like, don't start harping on about you're a feminist icon then and you respect women, because you don't really, do you? If you just shaft them and ditch them like a parking ticket. Again, you do you. I'm not having a pop. Like, I can understand the appeal of 20-year-old women when you. I mean, I'm 42, and objectively, 20-year-old women are still attractive. It's not like some switch goes off in your brain. But to me, it's like I've always said this. I try to. I'm sort of embarrassed when a hot woman bends over to tie a shoelace in the street, and some part of my monkey brain says, "Look at her ass," because I'm one of those sort of. I consider myself something of an intellectual person, and I don't like it when I feel as if I'm being controlled by the monkey, right? Because we're all apes. I like to think if you want to transcend being a fallen, we're not a fallen angel, we're a rising ape, right? Which is something Terry Pratchett used to say. It's a very empowering thing, that isn't it? Because therefore we're not on a negative pegging for our whole life. Like if you're a fallen angel, you're never going to get that high again. If you're a rising ape, you can transcend your lowly origins. And to me, I try not to let the ape be in charge. So like it's one reason why I try hard with my relationships. It's easy. Basically, when you meet someone who's a bit thick, and everyone's got a mate who's a bit thick, and they seem to be more in touch with the ape than most. Like if all you think about is eating, sleeping, and fucking, you are more in touch with the ape. And I understand the appeal to ditch your wife and go chasing 19-year-old girls around. I understand the appeal, but I try to rise above it. I try to be a good husband, and I try to give myself a slap if ever I find myself with a wandering eye. It's better to try and overcome our. We've been hamstrung by our biological evolution, haven't we? It's why it's easy to get fat. Another thing I've talked about, that is letting the chimp be in charge. If you're like fucking a proper fat, lazy bastard and you just sit and eat cakes all day, you're letting the ape be in charge because of our evolution. We want to shag everything, right? Because, again, this is, I like talking about this, so we'll do it for a bit. The reason men are more likely to cheat and men are more interested in wham, bam, thank you, man. Whereas women are more interested in a relationship is because women have a large price to pay for reproduction and men don't, other than what? STDs. I don't think there was many of them when we were fucking evolving primates. It's like blokes have got it in us to be philanderers much more than women because women have a massive price to pay for sex. If they get pregnant, I mean, fucking hell, you go back 100,000 years, 1 in every 3 childbirths was death for the mother. So, frankly, I'm amazed women let cocks anywhere near them. You would think after an evolution where 1 in 3 childbirths had resulted in your death for hundreds of thousands of years, you would think women are absolutely terrified of cock. Like they treat it like a fucking tarantula. You get your cock out and they go, like, to me, it's weird that women even let you fuck them. But blokes have programmed to be the way we are because of our evolution. And another aspect of that is why you want to be lazy and eat cookies. Because food was scarce, right? If celery tasted as good as fucking donuts, when our ancestors, who were always struggling for resources, found a shitload of celery, you come across a cabbage field, you go, let's just stay here and eat all this shit. If it tasted amazing, you'd just stay there. And then you'd starve to death because you wouldn't get enough calories. So that's why, to this day, monkeys will murder each other for honey. I've seen that on a BBC documentary. They'll actually kill each other if warring tribes of monkeys find a beehive. They'll murder each other for the honey because they're trained in the brain. It's like that shit can keep you alive for months. It's mega high in calories, and that's why we're trained to love sugar and fat. It's high value targets that'll keep you alive for years. So that is the scientific reason that donuts taste better than fucking carrots, because of our lowly origins. But if you're just an absolute fanny rat and all you think about is eating and fucking, I think you're a bit of a chimp, and I think you should try harder. Is the short of it. So I'm not having a pop of blokes that do just live the whole life shagging. I was shocking in my 20s. You know, Bootneck was a notorious philanderer and something of a ladies' man. Because, well, you can tell my personality, right? First of all, I'm not bad looking. Again, I'm not fucking blowing my own trumpet down. I'm not saying I'm a 9 or a 10, but, you know, I'm above average. And most importantly, I was mega fit. which is a big one, right? If you can be a bit howling. I mean, every man knows this. If a woman is dreamboat body, shipwreck face, she'll still get some action, won't she? So when I was a young lad, not bad looking, mega fit, and I've got a personality. So I was something of a fanny rat when I was in my 20s. But as I've got older, yeah, I've definitely changed my outlook on that. I think there's no wrong with being a fanny rat, an absolute gash hound when you're like 18, going through your teens and your early 20s. But you should definitely try and grow up a little bit. So just some advice for any young people watching. Put it about a bit while you're in your early 20s and then have it focused on getting that out your system so that when you grow up, you should be a loyal, good husband. Because I think that's a key aspect of being a conservative as well. I think being a fucking gash rat and just going to orgies and sniffing coke and living for all the earthly pleasures like the likes of Jack fucking Doorstop, because they're all perverts in Silicon Valley, aren't they? You read some mad shit about what they get up to. Jack fucking Doorstop and all these freaky mates. I think not being a sex pest is an integral part of being a good, well-rounded sort of fucking conservative person. So yeah, get it out your system when you're in your teens and your early 20s, and then focus on being hard-working, loyal, decent, honourable fucking husband when you're older. That's what I think. Jeff Wynn's still got a harem. Well, well done to you. Anyway, that's enough biology for one day. Let's talk about the libs of TikTok then, because I've discussed why Taylor Lorenz was a twat. If you don't know, go back and watch the video I made a couple of weeks ago. But now, for a laugh, I think we'll just watch a few of the videos on libs of TikTok, because these people are completely off their fucking tits. And I think it'll be funny. So let's just do it, shall we? This is one I clicked on today. This mom is mad because a doctor dared to suggest a 9-year-old child is too young to know himself when she wanted the kid to transition. The doctor is correct. No fucking shit. 9 years old. Look at this fucking lunatic.
Pediatrician number 2. After I fired pediatrician number 1, I asked another mom of a trans kid who lives locally for a pediatrician recommendation, and she gave me one. Aside from incessant misgendering from her whole staff, she also said in front of my child that I needed to mourn the loss of my daughter in front of my 9-year-old transgender child. That's something you never say, by the way. In addition, she then refused to write a letter for his name change, stating the fact that he is too young to know himself, and refused to connect with his therapist and his endocrinologist. She was the chief of staff at our local hospital. Not only was she disrespecting my son's knowledge of his own self, but she's also disrespecting me. Pediatrician number...
I hate the fucking lingo they use. Disrespecting my son's knowledge of his own self. Listen. Shit for brains. When you're 9, you know less than fuck all. This is hard-won knowledge from 20 generations of fucking parents, right? Going back to antiquity, right? You don't know fuck all. And the reason we have rules in life for mundane things, like not letting 9-year-olds spark up a fucking Super Kings while he's at the Greyhound track, you thick twat, is because we've decided, with the use of this hard-won knowledge, that if something could be harmful to a child, like developing a gambling addiction and chain smoking fucking Benson and Edges, we don't let them make those fucking decisions, right? Again, I fucking find it mind-blowing that you've got twats like me on YouTube saying this, and there's still nobody loudly and proudly on fucking the BBC and Sky News just saying this. Why don't they appear on mainstream media? Why is there hardly any fucking normal voices in the mainstream media, in the mainstream publications, on the fucking radio waves saying this common sense, logical, reasonable shit that everybody with an IQ above fucking 2 digits knows to be true? Why? Why? Is the conspiracy theories are getting proved right again, aren't they? Like, it's lunacy. We're allowing fucking lunatics to run the world, psychopaths who don't care about the well-being of children. A fucking 9-year-old. If 9-year-olds, this is what I've said about the trans thing for a decade. My position's moved a little bit as I've learned more, and now I'm not as comfortable with using the pronouns and everything because, like I said, there's a price to be paid for using the language of the commie. But certainly, I've got no issue with if you're a 21-year-old bloke and you want to fucking get a surgical intervention and live your life as Brenda, you fucking do you. I'm a lot more easygoing on this than the very right-wing people because ultimately, like I said, I always try to side with the freedom. Freedom. I'm a libertarian. So if you're a 21-year-old bloke and you want to fucking do that, I think you should be allowed to crack on. I'm not with the mega conservative types who just think, no, ban it all, tell them what to do. I've always believed this. If it doesn't harm anybody else, you do it. This is why I've always been all right on Vice. Drugs, gambling, drinking, smoking, fucking anything that's bad for you. We know it's all bad for you. We know going to orgies is bad for you. Hanging at the back of 12 people in one night, probably not a good idea. You don't know what, you might get one of these fucking cock-eating viruses that's going around since all these apps. Because now they're all creatures, the younger generation, and they're fucking always stirring each other's porridge. I wouldn't go near a bird I'd met on Tinder unless I put like 3 Johnnies on and then just sort of duct taped a fucking bin line around my ball sack. Like, I'm seriously concerned about that shit. I'm glad I'm fucking old. But we know all this stuff's bad for us, drinking and smoking and gambling and boozing and shagging. But if you're in your 20s and you want to do it, you fucking let them do it. So I'm not having a pop with trans people, but nothing should be approachable for children. Like, little kids should not be going through fuck all, and these loopy women should be prosecuted. That's child abuse, and you've got her on tape saying it. Yeah, fence sitter. I am a fence sitter. I am. I'm not a hardcore conservative. Because, like I've said, Thatcher's not a conservative issue. She's a libertarian, a free market liberal. I fundamentally, the root of my distaste for genuine conservatism is religiosity, because I don't believe in holy books. I don't believe that the Bible and the Torah and that other fucking book that we're not allowed to fucking talk about unless we use a series of fucking euphemisms because the fucking world's gone mad. Yeah, that other one. I don't believe in them. And the crux of a lot of conservatism is based in theology. It just is. Disraeli, going back to the real conservative heroes of the right in the United Kingdom, a lot of it is rooted in theology. They were deeply religious people. And I believe in the 2020s, we need to move beyond it. I do not fundamentally believe in the truth of organized religion. Again, I've moved on it. I'm not a chippy atheist. I understand how there's a lot of positives come from religion. And I certainly have more time for the deistic argument for God, that there might be some sort of prime mover that does shit. But the actual written down ones like Christianity, the Torah, that other fucking one that causes people to explode frequently, I just don't believe them. Yeah, and this is, again, where I fall out with it. I believe in the conservation of all that we had, but I think we need to muddy the waters with regards to organised religion. So, again, I respect religion. I especially love, like, the buildings and the architecture. You know, no part of me wants to see things like the York Minster or St. Paul's in any way defamed or destroyed or vandalised. Like, they're sacred to me, because they were set up by our betters. They were built by our betters, our forebears. But I think we need to muddy the water with religiosity. I can't bring myself to believe it's all true. So I don't think it's right to hoist it onto people. It's not right to hound the religious, but there's a greying needs. There's a thousand shades of grey to me on the religious debate. And I'm not happy to see it take over my beliefs, basically. There's stuff that's demonstrably wrong in those books, because they were our first attempt at explaining the world. And I have an issue with organized religion. But yeah, where did you sent me down a fucking road there? I forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, yeah. So these fucking lunatics, we know that it's abuse to force children to indoctrinate children, and it is especially abusive when you're going to be talking about giving them hormone blockers or any form of surgical intervention because they're not old enough to fucking know. A hard line in the sand should be 21. I even think a teenager is too young to know, like, because we're allowed to vote at 18. But as I said before, in my eyes, ask yourself this question. Have we got more religion? Have we got more sensible and more mature or less mature in the last 50 years since the internet became a thing? You hear people now saying like, oh yeah, 30 is the new 20, which is fucking ridiculous. But we haven't got more mature. We've got less mature. So to me, that's another reason why the commies always want the voting age to go down. Scotland, down to 16, because they know they can't win an election fairly, the commie cunts. So they're changing it to try and put the both fucking bollocks on the scales. It's lunacy. If anything, the voting age should be put up because we're not more mature now. 18-year-olds back in the day were working full-time and they have a kid on the way when they're 18. Now, people are far less mature than they are thanks to the we live longer. Again, there's loads of aspects. I don't want to disappear into the weeds on that. There is a lot of logical reasons why kids are less mature now than they were in the 50s. But the fact remains, they are less mature now. They're more likely to be living at home with the parents till they're fucking 30. They're less likely to have children. They're more likely to be fucking emotionally incontinent. There's numerous reasons why. But you shouldn't be voting at 18 anymore. So in my eyes, it should be 21. If you think you're trans when you're 18, we should be saying to these people, respectfully again, because there are genuine cases of dysphoria and I don't want to fucking harass anybody. I'm a fucking pleasant, centrist person. But you should be saying to them, you're very young and you're not old enough to be making really difficult decisions. If you are genuinely trans, wait a little bit, get therapy, think about it a lot, and then we'll make this decision when you're 21. Because it's a fucking, like they say, you're a long time dead. You're a long time without a cock, right? You know, we've all heard that. You're a long time dead. You're a long time dead. Enjoy your life. Well, you're a fucking long time without your cock. If you grow up, get your knob lopped off when you're 18, and then when you're 25, think, fuck, I was quite attached to me pork sword, you cunts, right? You're a long time without a cock. So to me, it should be 21. Voting should be 21. And getting your fucking baps lopped off, you should be 21. I think that's reasonable. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be cruel to anybody. But it's ridiculous. Yes, Billy Blogs, I can read the chat, but multitasking is not Bootneck's fucking forte. I do read the chat when I get the chance, but it's hard to read a news story, listen to some fucking lunatic lefty talk shit, and also read the chat. So if I do miss anyone, obviously you know why. Science is the new religion. Not to me, Ian. Again, this is why I'm a fence-sitting twat, isn't it? Shall we have a look at another lib of TikTok? There's got to be some good ones on here. Fuck off adverts. So she's off her tits. What else have we got? This man had a gynecologist appointment to get birth control. He's mad because he was misgendered for a female. The party of science wants us to believe this is a male and disregard biology. Let's see.
I had a gynecologist appointment today to get an Explanon implant in my arm, and which is birth control, by the way. And my gynecologist is usually pretty respectful. I've only had 2 appointments, but she's respected me as a trans person. Well, today, as I was checking out for my appointment, I was standing right there in front of her, and she starts talking to the woman that's the nurse that's checking me out, and she misgendered me right in front of me. I didn't say anything because it was 10 o'clock in the morning. That's early for me, and Just didn't seem worth it. Maybe I'll confront her in my next appointment.
She misgendered me right in front of me. What the fuck does that mean? These people can't even speak English, can they? She misgendered me what I am then for. Fuck me. So, just if you don't know, Nexplanon, what that silly bastard was trying to get, is a very small rod inserted under the skin of a woman's upper arm to provide birth control. It's invisible and prevents pregnancy for up to 4 years. So, can you have a pop at a medical professional? Because, you know, medical professionals like to do things by the fucking book. Can you have a pop at a medical professional who is inserting a birth control implant that is explicitly for women, right? Just as a clue, if somebody stuck a Nexplanon implant in my arm, it's not doing shit to the Bootneck's baby gravy, right? My population paste is still all singing, all dancing, I'll leave you with a bun in the oven. So you can't really have a fucking pop at the medical professional for putting a female, it says right there, of a woman's upper arm, for putting a female birth control implant into a woman and then saying, cheers, love, see you later. And this fucking dippy cunt's going, oh my God, this is an outrage. Wind your neck in. You've just got your fucking birth control implant, your female birth control implant. So shut the fuck up. Yeah. Do you identify as a fucking knobhead? That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, it would stop me from getting pregnant. Yeah, that'd be funny, wouldn't it? Yeah, at least I can't get up the duff. How's that? Again, they want you to just question everything, don't they? Like, if I get bummed by enough sailors without my Nexplanon implant, I might get pregnant. No, I'll just slosh when I walk. I'll just leave a bit of a snail trail while I'm cutting down the fucking street. Fucking mental, innit? Mental. So these people are off the fucking tits. Off the fucking tits. I love it. We'll try for one more just for a laugh, and then I'll do a little bit of news, and then I'll fuck off. Oh, look. Taylor, when you watch that on the video I showed you guys, I mean, how fake was it as well? You could see she wasn't really crying. She was like, it's so, yeah. Like, it's like the worst fucking fake crying I've ever seen. You know what it reminded me of as well? It's like Kathy Newman. Remember Kathy Newman? I mean, I'm sure you're all aware of that. Kathy Newman's dead famous video when she was proper being a fucking bitch to Jordan Peterson. And then as soon as it went viral, because everybody who watched it was like, whoa, she's an horrible cunt, isn't she? Like, I showed my dad, it's like he's not really interested. But I remember showing him one of the best bits of that, where she's like constantly having a go at him. And he was like, fucking vinegar tits. Like, all the vinegar tits is that? I think that's an old one. It's an antiquated one, isn't it? Like, if you were a bitter, wizened woman, they used to joke and say that instead of like milk coming out your breasts, it'd be vinegar. You're just full of fucking spite and hate. But you know, she was fucking horrible. That video went viral because she was fucking horrible. She was proper, needlessly malevolent and spiteful and vindictive. And it was, every question was just dripping with hate, right? So everyone who watched it, the whole reason that became a viral sensation was because she was fucking horrible. So it went viral, and then purely because she was horrible. And then the next day, what were all the headlines? You can all remember. The next day, the headlines were like, Kathy Newman being hit with misogynistic slurs. It was, you're a horrible cunt. And everybody who's watched you being a horrible cunt made this video go viral because you were being a spiteful, horrible, fucking slack-jawed Jezebel. And then you're the victim. How does that work? And it's the exact same with Taylor fucking Lorenz. Like, she's a liar. She's a fucking fraudster. She's a sneaky, lying, backstabbing fucking slapper. And she doxed a woman. She even got other people doxed and harassed as a result of it, who happened to share that lady's name, the woman who runs Libs of TikTok. So because of her disgraceful, despicable actions, women not even related to the site got harassed and threatened. And then that fucking slut bucket goes on telly and goes, oh, it's so bad. Oh, everyone's being mean to me. They're mean to you because you're fucking awful. Awful. And it's the way they've always been, these fucking bullies. When you're a bully, the first time someone gives you any shit back, you go crying away at the teacher, don't you? School ground bully. Bullies don't like getting any shit back, and that's what they are. They're the fucking bad guys. And as soon as they get a bit of shit back, they do that. Who is she? Yeah, I made a video about it, Dennis. The short version is, like I said, she works for the Washington Post. She went after the woman who runs this account, leaked all of her personal information in a fucking national publication. And then when people started saying to her, you're a bitch and you shouldn't have done that, then she played the victim and said, oh my God, everyone's so mean to me. It's like, no, but you're a twat. And that's exactly what Kathy Griffin did. Kathy fucking Newman. A bitch. A horrible, spiteful, malevolent cunt. And that's why it went viral, because everybody who watched it thought, whoa, you're a fucking bitch. A rich, privileged, never had a real job in her fucking life. Never. I mean, you think Kathy Newman's got calloused hands? She's never done a fucking day's work in her life. A cry bully, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Julie Bindle, I follow her on Twitter, or I did on my old account before it vanished. But I have got a new one now. Yeah, you can have a look if you. Oh, let's put that up. What's it called now? Oh yeah, just. I mean, that's probably quite hard to find, isn't it? Log out. No, I don't want to do that. Where's my fucking homepage? Oh, there it is. Anyway, yeah, there's my new Twitter. Have a look if you want to. I don't go on there that often. Who else is on here? Dave Rubin. He sort of annoys me, Dave Rubin. I do watch him occasionally, but I don't think he's particularly good. He's another one of these American comedians who's not fucking funny. You know what I mean? I quite like Dave Rubin as like a political commentator, but he's not funny, is he? I don't think Joe Rogan's very funny. There's a lot of them in American comedians. They're just not as good, have they? I like Louis C.K. He's funny. But a lot of them, Dave fucking Rubin's not funny. I'd love to. Stephen Crowder's not fucking very funny. I couldn't imagine going to a comedy club and actually watching Stephen Crowder do stand-up for an hour and actually finding it funny. So yeah, I think a lot of them are just, they say that comedians to get just to get a sort of a hook. But I think Dave Rubin's he seems to be a decent journalist and he's a good presenter, probably a good interviewer, but I don't think he's a fucking comedian. Is Angry Bootneck ex-Army? No, the Angry Bootneck is Bootneck, which is ex-Royal Marines, Billy. Not the Army. Gavin McInnes is funny. Yeah, he is funny. He doesn't really describe himself as a comedian, does he? He's actually funny. But Dave Rubin isn't. Again, I'm not having a pop. You don't have to be funny to be a fucking YouTuber, do you? Tim Pool's not fucking funny. As long as they're on the side of right, you don't have to be a comic genius, do you? Anyway, let's do one fucking proper news story before I go, shall we? What have I got? We've got there's a few good ones. So first of all, this one is just yet another book burning by the lefties. So I'll briefly talk about it. Biff and Chip. Anyone heard of that? I hadn't really heard of it too much. Apparently, it's a mega popular children's book that attracted criticism for describing people wearing turbans and a niqab as unfriendly, being withdrawn from sale. So they said, wow, these people don't seem very friendly. Well, they don't, do they? They're perfect strangers in a fucking third world country. What do you think they're going to do? Like, the perfect strangers in third world countries typically do nice things to children or terrible things to children. Answers on a fucking postcard. There was 2 Scandinavian women went missing in Morocco, wasn't there? And what happened to them? Anyone remember what happened to them? I'll give you a clue. Bum till the fucking heads fell off. That's what happened to them. So, yeah, third world countries full of scary, hairy men. Yeah, probably right to say they don't seem very friendly. Unbelievable. Anyway, remaining copies of The Blue Eye, part of the Biff, Chip and Kipper series, have been destroyed by its publisher, the Oxford University Press. So there you go, ladies and gents. More fucking book burning. And these people call themselves progressive. Civilized people. Civilized people, the book has been destroyed. The remaining copies have been destroyed. So there we go. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Civilized left-wing people. Book burning. I remember Indiana Jones punching people in the face for burning fucking books. But you'd think we'd have moved on a little bit since the 1930s or whenever that bastard film was set. Yeah, destroying books, destroying children's books. I mean, lunacy, innit? Fucking lunacy. No longer appropriate and they use all the weasel words. We take steps to remove any products that are no longer appropriate for our collection. We burn kids' books. We burn books. We burn books. Just say that. A spokeswoman said, "We burn the fucking books." Just leave it at that, love. Leave it at that. You're a book burner. It's fine. Beneath an illustration of a busy marketplace, Biff says, "Let's stay together. The people don't seem very friendly." Then it was amended in 2012 to say it would be easy to lose each other in such a crowded place. But an image of the original version picked up traction on social media. You mean the woke stop war. And there you go, book burning. Book burning. Winner. Fucking winner. So there you go. Book burning. I'll just leave it up here for posterity's sake, right? You won't be able to find that picture anymore. It's been destroyed by the woke Gestapo. So there you go. Book burning. Brilliant. Fucking brilliant. What else have I got? Oh, yeah, here's another good one. He's a fucking another beauty. I'm in work, but I need to use a food bank. That old chestnut. Is that up? No, it's not. Where are we? Here we go. I'm in work, but I need to use a food bank. Bullshit, Mr. Handman. Bullshit, Mr. Handman. Right, so let's have a look at this. I'm trapped, says Caroline. The classroom assistant and single mother says she's in a circle she can't get out of. Over the past year, food banks. I'm sick of fucking hearing about them. It's like the NHS is going to disappear as soon as the Tories fucking win the election. 15 years later, NHS is still there. What the fucking waiting for? Also, soon as the Tories win the election, oh my God, we're all using food banks, right? Caroline seems to have all the trappings of modern living, right? She lives in a house. She's got a car, but apparently she's got to use a fucking food bank. Let's have a look. She lives and works in County Fermanagh in rural Northern Ireland and would like to get a job with better pay, but to do that, she'd have to move away from a community. So, okay, so you'd like to get a job with better pay, but fuck it, I'm not doing it because that involves some more effort. All right, it's my fault then. She said she'd also like to stop claiming universal credit, but a budget won't allow it. So, yeah, you're also a welfare sponge, even though you've got a job. So you'd like to stop, but you won't stop. Here's an idea. Mick Philpott's wife would like to keep her fucking legs closed, but she didn't. Because in fucking modern Britain, squeezing out the kids, who's the father of that one? Fuck knows. I think that was the pizza boy. There's another one. I think that was the lad who used to work in fucking Blockbusters. The bin man, milkman, horseman, coal man's up her ass. Fucking, you can't make it up, can you? So these people fucking whinge. Secondly, as is probably obvious to everybody who see it, does she look like she misses fucking meals? She's got more chins than the Chinese phone book, but apparently she's going fucking hungry. Pull the other one. At least if someone's complaining about going hungry, they should look like a fucking emaciated Ethiopian. I'm hungry. Yeah, fucking hell, I'll get you some sandwiches, pet. But look at you, chinny fucking McChinnison. You haven't missed a meal in months, you fat fuck. So stop whinging, shut up and get a better job. I mean, these fucking people do my head in. She says she uses central heating occasionally. She says that, probably on full blast 24 fucking 7. Remember being a kid? When I was a kid, my dad used to come home from the pub and if the lights were on, he'd go mental. Every night it's like fucking Blackpool illuminations in here. She won't be fucking turning the heating on occasionally. She said she needs a car for work, right? Again, so she's got all the trappings of a normal person who's working. She's got a house. She's got a car. She's got everything, and she's getting welfare. And she'd like to stop claiming it, but a budget won't allow it. So you're not going to stop claiming welfare. You say you'd like to, but you're not going to. The grocery bills are also rising, but in her small community, there are only local convenience shops and big supermarkets where she might find better deals are too far away, right? Someone from Northern Ireland. One of you fuckers. County Fermanagh. How big is it? Ragnar, how fucking big is County Fermanagh? Surely. She's got a car. She said she's got a car, yeah. needs it for work, got a car. Drive to the fucking supermarket then. How big is it? It's probably only about 10 miles from fucking tip to toe, that fucking county. It's Northern Ireland, it's not bastard. She doesn't live in rural Idaho. How big is it? How come you can get to bastard work, but you can't get to the supermarket? It's like, I'd like to not spend all my money on fucking microchips and scratch cards, but I just can't. I can't. You can, fatty. You can. I'm sick of people moaning. You've got a car, drive to the fucking Morrisons or whatever they've got out there, Aldi, and stop fucking dripping. So this is all bollocks. It reminds me of the immigrant lads. There was one lad in the car from like St. Vincent or St. Helena or somewhere, and he was like, oh, I don't want to move to Britain, and I definitely want to go back home. I definitely want to go back home. First fucking chance he gets, British passport. Cheers. Bring every cunt over, live in a council house. Don't tell me you're trying to get off welfare. You're not trying to get off welfare. Don't tell me you've got a car that you use to get to work, but you definitely can't drive to Aldi. It's impossible. So I have to buy Ben and Jerry's from the local spa. Fuck off. Don't tell me you're hungry when you've got an ass like the back end of a bus, right? Don't tell me you're starving when you've got more chins than the Chinese phone book. I don't believe it. This is all bollocks. It's the BBC pushing this fucking narrative that everybody's struggling more than ever before because if only Jezza had won and we'd stolen everybody's fucking private property off them, everything would be great. You haven't missed a meal in months, fatty, and I'm not having it. And if you don't want to be a fucking single mother, make better lifestyle choices and don't get booked all over the fucking town by anyone with a cock just because you make shitty decisions in life. Wait till you get married. Like the easy ones, right? Graduate high school, don't have kids before you're fucking 30 and get married. Easy. But they never want to do it. And they don't want to stop eating microchips and they don't want to get a better job because that'd be hard and they don't want to move. Move? That's hard, that. Well, life's hard. Work's hard. If you work hard, you make more money. Stop fucking dripping. I mean, at least Mick Philpott had the good grace to set a few of them on fucking fire and save the taxpayers some money. I mean, he did us a fucking favour there, didn't he? It's like Dirty Harry saving the taxpayers money with his fucking Magnum. Al Philpott done us all a fucking favour there, didn't he, with his proclivity for setting his own house on fire. So, I mean, yeah, bollocks. I don't care. I don't care about these people. And again, the woke cunts, middle-class wankers who don't understand working-class people, think that we all sit there reading this going, oh, my fucking God, this is criminal. People who are from council estates sit in the local boozer and they're sick and tired of seeing degenerate council estate chavs who've got 13 kids by 10 dads with the new Nike trainers and the fucking gold medallions and the fucking Heineken and the special brew and the fucking 600 fags in the recycling every bastard fortnight. We know the crack, and middle-class arseholes don't. So when some fat chav with a sob story turns up at the BBC and goes, I can't afford feed baby, and she's got fucking 10 chins and a head like a fucking wheelie bin, they go, oh my God, these poor bastards are in poverty. What can we do to help them? And the people who actually live in the fucking council estates, who know what these people are like, go, I don't care. Have you ever lived with any of these fat chavs that don't do any work? It's not a coincidence that Owen Jones wrote fucking the book Chavs. It's no coincidence that it's Owen Jones because he's a middle-class Guardian reading arsehole. And they're the ones who get a sob story off some fucking toothless fat chav and go, fucking hell. Oh, it's shocking, this. It's shocking, this. We need to do something about it. The people who actually pay all the fucking taxes and pay the way, the bus drivers and the plumbers and the window cleaners and the bricklayers, they're sick and tired of getting up to go to work every day. And the next door neighbour who is fucking Waynet a slob, living in brown towers with 11 kids, he's sick and tired of going to work at 7 o'clock in the morning every day, 5 days a week, carrying fucking bricks up ladders, and then coming home and seeing fucking fat Caroline chugging cans of Specky Brew and smoking tabs on the fucking porch. That's what working class people think of scruffy fat chavs who whinge constantly about fucking food banks. They're lying. They've got more disposable income than I have. It used to piss me off when I'm working for the council. They've got more money than me. If you drive through the shittest areas in Middlesbrough, they've always got nice clothes, the fucking brand new Air Max, they've got a big screen TV, they've got a fucking good smartphone, a new iPhone, they've got all the mod cons, but they'll go, oh, I can't afford to feed baby. You lying bastard. You lying bastard. The fucking recycling proves them right. You know what I've talked about? Again, working class people know this because we've got our fucking finger on the pulse. A human's house is like a banana. External contents denote what's inside them. When a banana goes black, you know the shit inside the banana ain't going to taste very nice, right? A fucking council house is like that. If it looks relatively smart on the outside, you know the person who lives there goes to fucking work and doesn't complain about being a leech, a parasite who lies about going to the food bank and spends all the money on special brew and Super Kings and fucking scratch cards and Chicago town pizzas. Whereas when you see a house in a council estate with, let me see, dog shit all over the garden, a fucking upside down trampoline that looks like it hasn't been used for 8 years, fucking 600 varying plastic toys, an upside down go-kart, loads of fucking cans, recycling bins that haven't been put out for a month, and there's about 60 pizzas in them, fucking cans everywhere, fag boxes, shit all over. You know who lives in it, and it's a fucking Caroline. And if you're working class, you don't care about the sob stories because you know they're taking the piss out of us. They're taking the piss out of you. They're taking the piss out of me. And the only people who think that we do care is the silly upper crust woke cunts who work for the BBC and the Guardian. Caroline fucking loves Chicago town pizza. Caroline lives off Chicago town pizza, Super Kings fags, and fucking cans of special brew. And everybody knows it. So I don't care, Caroline. I couldn't give a monkey's fart. Close your fucking legs and stop squirting out kids even though you haven't got a husband. You've been around my street then. Yeah. You can always tell, can't you? You can always fucking tell. Anyway, I'll do one more because here's another one. I just want to briefly talk about it because I try to avoid it. You know, I don't like to bore you senseless with the Ukrainian war, but I just want to say this, right? So the EU are mourning, right? EU accuses Russia of using energy to try and blackmail countries supporting Ukraine, right? I'll just briefly say this. Right? Again, I can't believe we've got 5-star generals. I don't want to bring this up. I'll just briefly say this, right? Only the woke globalist cunts seem to think that we're living in the post-violence era. They thought war was a thing of the past. We didn't, because the working classes aren't fucking stupid. They thought war was a thing of the past. It's so last century, war. No. We're all going to have a giant shit country, globalism. We're all going to live in this giant shit country, and Klaus Schwab's going to run the fucking show, and you're all going to be happy, and you're not going to own anything, and we're all going to be best friends, and, you know, and the Sunni and the Shia are going to be hanging out the back of each other, and the gays and the lesbians and the trans and the homophobes and the neo-Nazis and the Klansmen and the Black Panthers are all going to join hands, and we're all going to dance and sing and naked under the rainbow. Bullshit, Mr. Handman. Normal people are pragmatists, and they know what's fucking what. And these thick twats who call themselves elite but have the collective intelligence of a fucking house brick seem to think that when you're at war, there's going to be rules. Like, they're really going to play by the rules, right? So we've pushed the fucking EU, expanded it east for 30 years. We've crossed red lines about 40 times. We've antagonized and poked the Russians for fucking decades. And now we're at war and we're sending missiles and stingers and javelins and materials and logistics and all fucking sorts of shit and training personnel, doing all sorts of dodgy shit so that the Ukrainians can twat the Russians. And the EU is now accusing the Russians of using blackmail. It's like, you're making us pay in rubles, you bastards. There's a war on, for fuck's sake. It's all I can say. I'll put this in the most simplistic terms I can. If you lent your next door neighbour a tenner, right? If you went out one morning, just nipping to get the paper, and you see him, all right, John, morning. Oh, mate, you can't lend us a tenner, can you? I'm a bit short. Oh, okay, here, there's your tenner. And then the next morning, you come downstairs, and instead of like cultivating his garden, because he's always envied your nice little, well-manicured piece of grass, he's just fucking knocked the fence down, moved it 40 feet to the right, and he's just encompassed your entire garden in his, right? He's just rebuilt the fence, and you haven't got a fucking garden anymore, right? Do you think that when you ask him nicely for your money back, he's going to be playing the fucking game. In fact, are you even going to want to talk about something as small as money when he's just took the fucking piss out of you? I don't understand why people think that they're going to play the fucking game when we're actually at war. Like, there's people getting murdered. There's cities being reduced to rubble. And they go, whoa, the Russians are starting to take the piss a bit. Of course they are. Of course they fucking are. If you have a war with someone, do you expect them to pay the fucking debts? I'm amazed the Russians are still playing the game with regards to just not shutting off the gas completely. Obviously they need the money, which is why they haven't. But why do they think everybody's going to play by the fucking rules? Like, it just baffles me. They're using pre-war rhetoric in the middle of a war. Of course they're not. Of course they're blackmailing you, you silly cunts. There's a war on. There's a war on. Again, I've always thought this might be part of the technique. Like, the tactic might be borrow loads of money off China and then have a war with them, because then you can just go, fuck you, I'm not paying you back. Like, would you expect to be paid back if you're having a war? To use the lending money off your mate analogy again, like, would you expect to get paid back? If you lent 20 quid off your mate and then you fucked his wife and then set his dog on fire, would you expect him to pay you the 20 quid back? I don't think. I think as I was plunging into his wife's fucking cinnamon ring, I'd be thinking, yeah, I'm not getting my 20 quid back. Like, it's just, to me, normal fucking logic. That is just evident to anybody with fucking 2 brain cells to rub together. If your mate owes you 20 quid, but you decide you're going to fuck his 19-year-old daughter, you are dicing with the fact that when he finds out, he might not pay you back. Right? It's so fucking obvious. And now the EU are like, oh, the Russians aren't playing the game. Of course they aren't playing the game, you thick bastards. Anyway, that'll do yous. Nearly an hour. You can have that for free, you twats. Thanks for listening. I'll be back. What day is it tomorrow? Thursday. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll do a live stream tomorrow. All right, you lucky bastards. I will see you in 24 hours. 23. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter if you haven't, because I've restarted on there. May as well. Now Elon's taking over. And yeah, marvellous. See you all very soon. Cheers.